Kia ora everyone, my name is Izzy Hillman. I'm the exhibitions curator here at the Egantai. Today we've got Maania Tealei with us to tell us all about this exhibition and a bit more about her journey as an artist and what she's gone through to get to this point. So really exciting. Without further ado, can we please give a little paki for Maania.
It's on. Oh, it's on. Kia ora koutou. Ngā mihi nui I te whānau whānui, ka haere mai I tēnei kaupapa I tēnei ao. Ngā mihi nui ki te Egantai Art Gallery. Tēnā koutou. First of all, I just want to start off with a quick karakia to settle us in here today. Tuhia ki te raki, tuhia ki te whenua, tuhia ki te nākau o te takata, ko te mea nui, ko te aroha. Ti hei, Māori Elders. Nō reira. Mai. Ka mai. Te aroha, te whakapono, ke hangi Māori tātou e. Ngā mihi nui. Tēnā koutou katoa. First of all, ko ai au, ko aoraki, ko tarahaua, ko hui te kerekere, ka mauka, ko te umakaha, ko opahi, ko waitaki ka aua, ko takitimi te waka, ko kaitahu, ko kati māmoe, ko waitaha, ka iwi, ko aro whenua tuku marae, ko kati huirapa te hapu, ko te whare nui, te hapa o nu tereni te whare nui. Nō reira, ki te taha o tuku pāpa, ko Terence Nolan, rawa ko Mihiro Miga o kaumātua tipuna, me o kaumātua whānau, ko Carl Nolan tuku pāpa. Ki te taha o tuku māma, ko Jill Stevenson tuku tāua, ko Kim Stevenson tuku māma. Ko Maania Tealei taku tāne, ko Leilani, rawa ko Josefa aku tamariki, ko Maania Tealei ahau. Nō te tihi o maru au, nō reira, tēnā koutou katoa. Kia ora everyone. My name is Maania. I am born and bred and raised here in Tihi o Maru, Timaru, and I'm whakapapa to aro whenua marae, so I'm mana whenua from here, raised by my grandparents and lived in Timaru all my life. So that's just a little bit about me. I have two tamariki, one here today doing my apprenticeship of being the behind-the-scenes videographer, and a put on the spot wai te tautoko, so aroha mai. And my husband here, we have two tamariki, my other son Josefa, and my husband said that we work together as a team, and so this is about helping the next generation to be part of my mahi. So yeah, tēnā koutou everyone, welcome.
Kia ora Maania. So let's start at the beginning of the journey with what drew you to photography as a medium in the first place.
Oh, kia ora. Okay, just trying to think back when I've been asked this question before is I'm sure it's come from when I was at high school. I thought I'd take art to get some easy credits on my NCEA. Realised I was really bad at drawing. The teacher sort of took over because he didn't really like the way that I drew. So my teacher was Mr. Waddington back then at Timaru High School. And he seen more of a potential with photography in me. So I started taking photos with, back then, not digital, whatever it's even called now, I don't even know. Film, yeah, film. And I did the darkroom processing and stuff at school. So that was my very first planting of a seed for me at high school. And my subject matter that I remember having to submit for my NCEA papers was 2 chairs and a kete sitting on the chair. So that was pretty boring stuff, but that's my first recollection first recollection of when I first started getting behind a camera and using that as a way of expressing myself. And then it sort of lay dormant for many years. It was just something that I did at school, but then Tamariki came along in 2015, and I wanted to capture her photos as a baby, and you know, all those beautiful baby photos. So I wasn't in a position to pay for a professional photographer to do that, but I decided to try and buy as much as I could afford on a good camera and a couple of lenses, and then kind of start working on how do I use this, and started off on auto settings, and then advanced to just like watching YouTubes, watching composition, and I did start a paper when I was pregnant with my second baby with the New Zealand Photography Institute, but I only managed to do the first 2 papers, I think, and then mum life kind of took over, so I wasn't able to continue that. So I haven't had any formal training other than those 2 papers that I've done, and just looked at YouTube and inspiration from other photographers that I liked their work, and that's kind of how it all started. Yeah, mainly from my pepe and capturing them, and the next layer of it, that's how it started to get a camera. The next part was to make Māori portraits for something that she can connect to, what they can see, people that look like our ancestors, that look like what Māori were wearing in our days, and so you can kind of see that coming out here now. But it was the first one that I did of Māori portraits was actually at her bilingual daycare centre, He Manu Hou. So that's when I did it, October 20... I don't know what year it is, whenever you were like 4 or 5. That was probably my first time to do studio lights, and the black background that I kind of have now as my signature look for the Māori portraits. So that's when that first happened.
Ka pai. So you talked about photographing your tamariki. For you, did that spark something deeper on your journey of Māori portraits?
Yeah, definitely, because I wasn't brought up in a way that I was connected to my culture. Te Ao Māori's only just come into my life when my kids were born as well, so it was a progression of like understanding what Māori even looked like, or how their korowai was meant to be, or what the moko kauwai represents, and understanding the tikanga and the rules around how we dress, or how they dressed, our tipuna. And so that was a learning journey for myself to go, how do I connect to being in Te Ao Māori when I haven't been in there naturally within my life? I've been brought up by my grandparents who were in that stage that they were beaten for speaking reo in their schooling. So that was, how do I connect to it and normalise it for my tamariki so that they don't have that same feeling that I had? And that's why I think that's been a big inspiration for the tamariki to normalise. Māori is okay to be proud of being who you are and connected to your identity and your culture. That's a big driving force for me.
That's really special, and I'm so proud for you that that's had such a profound impact on sort of your journey of reconnecting with your te reo Māori and te ao Māori as well. And in terms of this exhibition, which I'm sure everyone wants to hear more about, and that's probably sparked your interest in coming along today. Can you tell me a little bit about the title and how that really reflects the kaupapa behind this exhibition?
Sure. So the title is Whakahōnore I tō tātou taonga tuku iho, which means, translated to honouring our legacy. Taonga tuku iho is the legacy, or the things that's passed down from traditions and way of life or way of being. And so that's what these people represent all on our walls here. They're still living legacies. They're not passed on yet, and so they're still a living legacy that can be here to pass on that knowledge, but we can honour them for having that knowledge or going through the things that they went through to pave the way that we have now for not only myself as an adult real learner, but for the next generation that's coming through, for them to have those strong roots that's been given to them as their legacy. Yeah.
So you'll notice looking around the room that there's sort of two sets of portraits for each of the subjects. So one is in their happy place, is that right? And one's a studio image. Can you tell me a little bit more about, obviously this exhibition is so grounded in whakapapa and a sense of place and belonging, and tell me a bit more about what sparked that decision to photograph them in a meaningful place to them.
Sure, so the happy place I think actually was inspired by Fran here. She was one of my first subjects, or clients, subjects. But for her, when we had the first kōrero about this kaupapa, when we first started talking about it, we were talking about like how, like I love the Māori portraits and the black in the background, but I was like, I also love just them in their own space and where they feel comfortable and their just how they are, their everyday life, their happiness, the places that make them smile, and how that can be portrayed in our portraits because they're comfortable, because they're not tensed up in whakamā, because it's that place that they already are comfy, and it was about celebrating like them and their own surroundings first, and then having the transformation of wrapping their mana and wairoa around them to then be proud of their identity and what they may not have been able to wear their kākahu like this very often, or had many places that they were able to be proud. So this was giving them that space.
That's so lovely, and you can really see the mana and wairoa coming through each of the portraits. They sort of, obviously the people are alive, but it brings the still alive on the wall. In terms of the process, I know that you sort of made your studio mobile for this process, and it was quite something that was realised quite early on that you were going to have to do. Can you tell me a little bit more around what really went into that, the manaakitanga, and really just the process?
Yeah, sure. So for me, first of all, I'd like my clients to be comfortable and not going to come off as like, oh, they're scared, or they're not sure about how they feel about it. So I wanted to be able to make sure I did the Te Ao Māori way of thinking. We manaaki them, we look after them, we go and have a cup of tea with them, we take a biscuit or a kai or a cake or something there, and I made that connection with that whakawhanaungatanga first, that way to bring them in and along on the journey and have the whole experience. It's not like, okay, turn up on this day, there, got you done, see you later, out the door. It's actually, we're giving them that time to feel everything, feel the manaaki that I have to show for them, to honour them, because that's what we're trying to do, we're honouring them. So it's in a way as my thank you to them, that they want to be part of this, but also asking first, like not just demanding that they be part of it. It's having reciprocal relationships with them, not tokenism or anything like that. It's more that these were deliberately chosen, and the people, there's still so many others out there that I still want to capture, but a lot of these people have had a personal connection to me. So it was reconnecting sometimes, and they had personal connections with my grandparents who I was raised by, so it was a healing journey for me to connect back with these people, and they were so welcoming and so loving to bring me into their homes and have a cup of tea, and I had to allow a lot of time because they wanted to talk for an hour or 2 hours, and so I had to make sure that I wasn't being like, okay, I've got to go out the door, because I want them to have their time to share their kōrero, their stories, to share things that they remember about their ancestors or what they look like and stuff. So that was a really special part of it that people don't see in the portraits themselves, but I know that those little wee connections that we had were there, and that was a really great way for me to connect back to my own grandparents and seeing spaces in their whare and their homes that looked like what my grandparents' house looked like, and their mokopuna, their children and tamariki that they were so proud of were all on their walls, and they just have a different way of in their living space. They have a different way to what I feel my generation have. We're very minimalistic, maybe quite sort of plain walls sort of thing, whereas they have everything adorned everywhere, and that was really special to see, like the rose gold mirrors and just frames of every taonga that they had been given from, you know, their mokopuna, and that was a really nice way to be in their space. So yes, I hopefully answered the question. Sorry, I tend to like waffle on a little bit.
No, I'm sure everyone here appreciates hearing more. In terms of, you've spoken a bit about the kōrero and the process that you've had with the subjects, but what about the reception, the kōrero around your exhibition? Is there anything special that's come out of having this exhibition that you'd like to share?
Yeah, there's definitely been a lot of positives that have come out of it for our whānau that whakapapa here or lived here all their life. They may not have even stepped foot in this gallery, and even though they were brought up here. And so it amazed me to think that they hadn't been here because they didn't feel like it was a space for them to come, or that they felt whakamara about it maybe. But it was great to see that people had stepped out of their comfort zone to come along and see something that was for them and is for all us. But yeah, it's because people are in this whare here are all local kaumātua. They're all people that someone will probably know at least one of them in the spaces that they all are in our community. So yeah, it's that really special connection that people had has been a really amazing blessing. Obviously it's been amazing for myself with the highlight that it's given our kaumātua. Like I don't like to plaster myself or anything. I'm kind of like the one that stays behind the camera. I like to be, that's my happy place, is behind, not in front of it, not really public talking either. It's not really my happy place. But I'm persevering through this so that we can, you know, honour these people and get them out there in the community and show who they are and their culture and identity. Yeah.
Thank you. What do you think, or kind of like really hope that audiences, so maybe people that aren't as closely connected to kaumātua, maybe people from a non-te ao Māori background will take away from this, and then conversely from a te ao Māori background?
Yeah, oh, that's a double question. Okay, I guess for people that aren't, that non-Māori, that it's just a way to see our kaumātua dress like this, because it isn't well, like we don't walk around like this in our everyday wear. People obviously have maybe moko kauai or mataora that you see, but you don't see them standing in their korowai. We don't just walk around like that now. We've sort of colonialised with our wear, but this was a way to reconnect back to that way of life that we had. Yeah, what was the second half of that question?
I think that kind of answered the question. It was, what do you think audiences will take away from this exhibition, both Pakeha and Māori?
Yes, good question. I hope that our people, that they take away from it, that they feel pride in themselves, that they can stand proud like this. Not just on this one occasion, but other times maybe, that they can encourage the other whānau to get images like this, so that when the time comes they have a future taonga for their mokopuna, for their children and their children's children, you know, all the generations, because it's beautiful for us now, but it's going to be even more beautiful for the future generations to look back on. Wow, this is what my taua and my taua was like. This is what they looked like back then. So it's quite big, the kaupapa of where this, you know, starting off here, but in the future, what it's going to be like for them. And I just love that our tamariki can have something to look at up at their ancestors or at their kaumātua and go, like Toto's on the marae, I see her in every time when I'm out there, but now I also see her so proud her identity, so proud of the way that she looks and feels, and wearing her mama's korowai that's like 100 and something years old, and just embracing her mana in that space, and like with everyone else here, and their connection, like 5 friends with her connection with Taranaki, and I've now learnt along the way, is like, that's a Taranaki type style of, and I don't forget it. Like, there's so many tribes that sometimes it's like, oh, that one's from, where's that one from again? But I know my friend now is like, she's aroha whenua, but she's also Taranaki, and that gives me, the remembrance of that. It's like, oh, that's something that I've learned along the way. So it is a really learning journey for me as well. It's something that don't know everything about, and that's what I find has been so healing. Is like, it's my connection to these beautiful kaumātua that we have, and their ways and their stories and their ways of life. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's really important, especially at this sort of time in Aotearoa politically as well.
Yeah,
like, it's very important for us to be recognising our Te Ao Māori sort of lens on where we are and the sense of place, and it's Timaru, not Timaru, and little things like that. And I think it's really helping to just bring that vision back into what is a smaller centre. So speaking of it being a smaller centre, I know for you that probably would have had some unique sort of strengths, but also perhaps some challenges to this sort of photography practice. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I guess it's not really well known in our area of even like of our own practices. We're all still like learning from our kaumātua learning. Like, a lot of them were looking for guidance from me, and I was hoping that they knew what they were doing, But I was having to sort of help and awhi them, and it was a learning process along the way. So I thought that was really special connection that we were able to make. I know one of the things that I recall is Whaihash had told me some kōrero that she had learnt about the wahine having the korowai that goes over their heart, and the tāne, the men, having it going the opposite way. And so I was like, I hadn't actually ever been told that kōrero, and I didn't know that that was something that existed. But when I looked on my photos of all the ones that I had already done, I had just instinctively put all the wahine with it over their heart and the tāne the other way. So I was like, wow, it was meant, like, it's something that obviously my tupuna are helping me with and guiding me when I'm not even realising it, and it's just instincts. So I think that was quite a special way to think about, yeah.
Wow, I just can't even, I'm sitting here thinking, how is this your first exhibition? So this exhibition obviously is a huge milestone, but I see it sort of as just one small pebble in the wider journey. Can you tell us a little bit more about where you think you're going to go from this point, and maybe the future life of this exhibition, fingers crossed? Yeah,
well, I guess for me, when I was leading up to producing the works for this, I did leave it to quite some time close to the date. Sorry, Izzy, because I know that panicked you. I do feel like I've got maybe undiagnosed ADHD, so I leave things to the last minute and then do my best work right then. I've got no choices. I've got no other, the deadline's there. I have to get it done. So fortunately, I did that with this, but it worked out great. But for me, I'd love to capture more of our kaumātua, because there are so many others that I'd like to honour, and I hope that they didn't feel like they were left out because they weren't within the time frame that I needed them to be in because of my own time management. But I will love to just open it up to a lot of other of our whānau. And then I was actually just for Matariki, was having a wānanga with one of my friends, and we were talking about the reflecting on the year that's been, and then what's the year to come, and sort of setting down some goals. And she said, well, one of the questions that we asked was, if there's no barriers in place, what would you do for this next year? And I just instinctively wrote down, record all of our kaumātua and all of our Ngāi Tahu Marae for a start. And I thought, gosh, that's going to be pretty big. That's like the whole South Island. So I was like, oh, I don't want to, I still want to live here, not have to be travelling everywhere all the time because my tamariki are based here and I've got a lot of commitments. But I think that is what the future would like to be, is that we need our other kaumātua to be honoured. And bring back these portrait photos like this instead of just our cell phone photos. The cell phone photos are great, and we've got some really good megapixels on cell phones and iPads and things lately, but it's nothing like having a physical photo printed out that's not pixelated, that's there for our generations. So I think it's about bringing back having pictures on our wall, not just on our Facebook wall or our Instagram wall or TikToks, because they're great, but bringing it back to having these physical ones of our people.
Yeah, no, I think that's really important as well. It's hard, sort of in the digital age, things sort of just flick past on your screen very fast, but this sort of allows you to slow down and really take a moment and be in the space with these people and acknowledge how special they are to the area. To put you on the spot here, is there one image from this kaupapa that really holds it all for you, one that just hits your heart every time? AKA, is there a favourite in the room?
I think I've been asked this quite a few times, and I'm not just trying to, be diplomatic, but I genuinely don't actually have one that I'm like, that's the one favourite photo that I have to love. And it's little things in each one of them. It might be the pride that I see in Auntie Lavinia, the styling that I see on Auntie Fran, the colour pop that I see with Auntie Susie, the connection that I have with my kaikahu Māori teacher Whānau, hearing the karanga from our huriata back in the days. It might be Matua Hohepa and where he likes to sit in the sun, and that's his happy place. Might be the blanket that we've wrapped around our beautiful matua cow, and I loved that blanket, so so I purchased that, and nobody has worn it yet, so I was very happy that he wore that. But it's still not my favourite. It's just I love that he wore the piece that I really wanted someone to wear, but I wasn't forcing anyone to put on anything here. That everyone has shown up in their happy place, in their own kākahu that they felt comfortable with, whatever they were wearing on the day. That's what we wore. We didn't make any adjustments to them. That's just how they were. And then with their Māori kākahu, when they put that on, I had all my client wardrobe out, and they were able to bring their own taonga in, or they can choose what they wanted from that styling. A lot of them looked to me for guidance, but they really were gravitated to whatever they felt comfortable with. And I love Matua that he felt comfortable going with he wasn't a korowai type person. He wanted to go for the blanket, and I was like, yes, I get to put this on someone finally. Then we've got our Mata Rawiri and his wahine, and the smile that he has looking at his wife across there of many years that they've been together, that was their connection that they still have. That's very special. Our whai hush and her mātauranga that she holds, her knowledge that she holds, and the way that I feel like she looks like a wee queenie there, because she's just stood so proud, so proudly. And then my favourite connection of a couple with their laugh, their beautiful look that they have to each other, and the way that they sit there together on their couch with their beautiful blanket in the background, the crochet blanket that's so tall in Granddad's kind of era, and that's one of my favourite connections that they have. And then when we did their Māori portrait, we got them to look at each other in the same way that they did in their happy place, and that it really truly was their happy place. You could just see it bursting from them. And I do a little bit of a happy dance sometimes, and I must look like a crazy woman, but I do when they do that, I was just like, oh, this is perfect. This is exactly what I wanted. And then we've got Mātua Ben and his partner, and they're we sitting in the sun and enjoying that. Like they wanted to hold hands. I didn't ask for them to hold hands, but it was their just way that they just like, oh, we're going to hold hands here, and I was like, okay. And they just about got a bit carried away. They tried to do two hands, that they wanted to hold two hands, and I was like, I think you guys look a bit awkward now, so let's just go back to the one. But yeah, so every single one has a little bit of a connection. I also, I did talk about Fire's pride, but also her space of where she did her happy place, Auntie Lavinia. She's at the original pā site of her tupuna where aroha used to be before it's moved to the space that is now. So that was a very special moment for her to walk there and just look out at her, at what it would have been back in the day. So, yeah. So I've said every single one. I have not left anyone out. Aroha mai, I have. Thank you. Okay, we've got Mr. Mischief and Tuwera King, obviously our upoko of aroha and waiho. His is quite obvious what his piece would be as a special connection is the gun that he has. It was an unplanned. It's not in my client wardrobe, so no one can actually request that for any future ones. Sorry, it's not mine, but that was a special piece that he has, and obviously capturing our upoko is an honour for me to be able to capture our main man from my marae. So definitely our special man. Yeah. Kia ora.
Kia ora, you just said all of them, didn't you? That's a good way to worm around the question.
Well, it's honest. It's genuinely that's all the things that I love about each piece, and that's why how can I possibly pick one of these beautiful kaumātua to say that you're my favourite? I just love them all and all the pieces that they bring, and as a set, what they all come together as.
Yeah. The last question from me before we hand over to the audience for a little bit of Q&A, but outside of photography, what would you say is something that keeps your creative spirit nourished and sort of going? Is there a daily practice, a whakatauki, or something passed down that really makes it for you?
I guess it's... I've only in the last maybe 5 years, I've done a lot of work around connecting with my te reo courses that I've been involved in. So that fills my wairua because I'm learning about my culture and my language that I didn't have, and then it's connecting with the community that's also in that same space. So they're filling my cup. And also I do kapa haka on Monday nights, if you want to come along, 6:30, 5:30 to 7 or something, I think it is, at Te Aitarakihi. So it's about being immersed in those spaces, as many opportunities as that I can get to. I'm probably like the first to register for all the wānanga because I'm so keen to always be part of everything. Like today I've just been out at aroha for a real strategy wānanga and tried to do both, so both that and come here. But I didn't want to miss out, and I think that's what I feel like. Anything that's a kaupapa Māori thing, that fills my cup no matter what it is, and then I want to take all that knowledge from whether it's at Te Aitarakihi or at aroha, I kind of like do them all. So that's what has filled my cup, but it also does drain a lot because it's a commitment that I've had to make, and it does take a lot of time and effort put into it. I can't just sort of get home and then like laze on the couch for the rest of the night. It's like, oh no, we've got kapa haka, oh no, we've got this, oh no, we've got this. And my poor tamariki have to be dragged along to a lot of things, and I was when I was brought up, and so it's kind of like my toa couldn't speak Māori. She wasn't in that, she was in that generation, I should say, that they didn't have their reo. But we still attended like Māori Women's Welfare League, we still attended the Aoraki Festival that was held out at the home station and things like that. So I still remember those things. It wasn't that I could speak Māori or understood Māori, but I was still connecting in those small ways, or Māori Mass. I think we had little things around the rohe, around the area that we were able to be involved in. And now it's sort of, for me, that was my pathway to have a little bit of a foot in, but now I'm giving more for my tamariki so that they can have a bigger base of where they start before they have to get to an old person and try and learn language as an adult when it's really hard. So they've been immersed at He Manu Hau bilingual, and then at Aroha Whenua Māori school, so that they can try and have more of their reo than what I was able to get the opportunity to have. Yeah.
And I think you can really see that sort of just the way that you've immersed yourself in mātauranga Māori, and it comes through in your practice as well. It's really special.
Thank you.
And saying that, thank you for having a chat with me. I'll now open the floor up. If anyone's got any questions, just stick your hand up and I'll run a microphone over to you.
Don't be shy. Oh, yes.
How did you feel on your opening night when you had such a huge number of people supporting you?
Well, it was definitely overwhelming to see this space completely full of wairoa and manaaki for me. Like, I'm the one that's just behind the camera, like I just sort of hide away. But this was actually that they turned up for me, and I was like, wow, this is actually amazing. Like, I know that I've been in these spaces and supporting the community, but like, holy moly, I really was overwhelmed. And just to see all the generations that were there, you know, from our tamariki, and that could witness something happening like this in our town, in our small town, that there's only little opportunities here. So for them to be able to witness and be part of something like that was really special. And to see all those other generations and the whānau that turned up, and we're amazed, because it was the first time our kaumātua seen their own images, so that was quite a special way of doing it. So it was like an opening and a revealing at the same time. So I think that's what I was more focused on, is like, for them, I was so happy that they finally got to see these taonga that we have. And that's what I loved the most. Wasn't actually that nervous. It felt like I'm normally not really good at public speaking. I'm normally this tangiweto. I cry at just about every speech that I've had to stand up and make. So on the night I was actually so composed, and I'd practiced my speech for the first time. I've never normally practiced things, I wing them. And so I'd actually practiced the speech, and I got through the whole speech without my tangiweto, but I did notice that there was many tangiweto in the room that night. There was a lot of people with having to get their tissues out, and so that was very beautiful that I could actually pass that on to everyone else instead of me. But yeah, no, it was absolutely amazing to see the support that I had, and the support for our kaumātua, because that's who it is really about. It's about them and honouring our culture and our language. So yeah. Thank you for your question, Fire.
Got a question from JP.
Thank you, Izzy. Thank you, Izzy. We enjoyed your talk today, and we really appreciate the knowledge that you shared. So I just want to ask, who are the photographers that inspire you to keep going and has led you to create this special process and technique that you use?
Wow, good question. I guess probably the earliest ones is Goldie, the portrait type things, but there's not one person that, because I've never really studied art or anything, it's just like sort of, I guess, a lot of images that have gone through over the years. There's another company called Poihakena that has done this type of thing, that they travel around New Zealand and Australia to offer these kind of portraits. But Soldiers Road is another one you may have heard of, but they don't really do it as much now. And it's not always accessible here in the South Island, I guess. It was more making it accessible so that our whānau locally, that I have connections with, that actually can get this done if they want this done. So I don't think I've ever really copied off anyone else's. That's the person that I really want to to do it like. It's more like I've just sort of taken on, okay, I need some props, I need some people that want to be willing to be part of connecting to their culture. I do get a lot of questions, a lot of overseas inquiries from tourists that want to come and do Māori portraits, but unfortunately I feel for me it's about, I've sort of had to understand this myself, and I'm still on a journey to, maybe think about it from both sides, but I haven't accepted to do those kind of mahi, that kind of work, because I feel there's a bit of cultural appropriation and appreciation. So I've had to decline some of the queries that I have from outside cultures to come in and try on our stuff and get portraits like this. We don't want it to turn into a tokenism, or it's not about that. It's about honouring the people and these people that have this whakapapa Māori. So, and it's the same with even these portraits that you see here today. I decided from the start that I did not want to sell them. They weren't to be sold to just any person that liked the images. It was that they go back to the whānau that they whakapapa to, so that it stays in their whānau, and they're the only ones that should have access to having these in their houses and in their, and that's what felt right to me. I did consult with Te Wera and asked him what would be tika, what would be right. Should I have these for sale or anything like that? And he said, well, it could be just up to the person, the sitters that are in it. But I kind of took that choice away from them because I didn't feel like if someone wanted to and then someone else didn't want to, I didn't want it to be a mix and match. I just wanted it to be that it's for their whānau. It's for them. They're the ones that need to have it and appreciate it, and their whānau and their mokopuna are the ones that I want it to go to. So, yeah. Hope that answers your question.
We've got another question over here.
Maania, was it opening night the first time that the sitters saw these as well?
Yes. That was the very first time that they got to see the images. So that was such a special moment. They didn't get to choose which image that was in it. It was all my choice. But they're the best ones, I'm sure. But yes, the images were the first time to see them is here, and even for myself, we went up to Christchurch to get them printed. They only did one test print for me, which happened to be Te Wera's, and I got to see that, and I was like, right, yep, that's good. You guys are good to do my whole printing. And then they sent them down, and I think they arrived on the Friday beforehand, before the Monday that they were going to start going up on the walls. So I actually came in on the Saturday and opened it with one of the staff here, and so that was actually my first time to see it, was just on that Saturday too. So I was hoping that they were all good and I didn't miss anything, especially with blacks. If you're a photographer, you might, if black and you've got a bit of white fluff on you or anything, the whites really show if there's any imperfection. And I was like, oh God, I better check them all. And I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so I do like to make sure that there's no a stray hair out of place or something. But the Ken's cameras, who were the ones that printed them, they'd done a really great job of the printing. And I did sort of say that, if I've missed anything, please let me know before you print it or anything. But they were wonderful at making sure everything was just perfect. So, yeah.
No, not the photos of them at home, but the photos of them together with and dressed in kōrero. Where did you take those photos? Was it here or at their home?
Oh, good question. I think Izzy actually asked me this question during our session, but I may have got off track. That's just, I like to give the full whakapapa, and I think I started way back here and forgot actually what the original question was. So with the studio portraits, so when I was going around the whare with all the kaumātua, I was kind of assessing their abilities, their mobility, and whether or not they were capable of coming into my studio or not, because our kaumātua obviously have some mobility issues, whether they need wheelchairs or frames or anything like that. Living with my grandparents and knowing, when they're later on in life, you sort of understand some of the struggles that they have. My studio is currently on Beswick Street, up upstairs, and there is no lift or accessibility for wheelchairs or anything else like that. So knowing that I had that barrier, but I didn't want our whānau to not be able to be part of it because they had mobility issues, I was thinking of a space that would cater for them, whether it's good parking, that we can offer them food and manaaki them, and that they're comfortable and relaxed. So a place that's quite close to my heart and their hearts, most of them, is Te Aitarakihi. So what I ended up doing was carting my whole studio, which was quite a lot. It took 3 carloads to take all of my stuff, my lighting and everything, and all the client wardrobe, and took it out to the whare nui there and set it all up and have that space ready for them. And so then we just got them to come in I think it was on Friday, and we got them to come in and do a mihi whakatau and do it in the te ao Māori way as well. So it was actually perfect. Looking back now, I think, oh yeah, that was actually meant to be like that, because it was great. And we had the ones that I hadn't been able to take. I had Fran was able, her mobility is great. She's young buck, this one, so she was all good to come into the studio. But a lot of our other kaumātua, they found that a lot easier, that we could bring them into a safe place that they already know anyway, and it wasn't sort of too scary or anything for them. We fed them up with pumpkin soup and some beautiful baking from my friend Bex, and they were well looked after, and they had a waiata and everything there. And so it was actually a really special day. It was about celebrating them on that day. And I loved how they took on that role of, we'd done their happy place already, so this was the second half of their portraits, and it was about when they took on that feeling of being proud as standing as Māori in their Māori kākahu. I think it was actually Joe, or Tūmanako, or Joe and Sue, was one that I remember quite vividly, as like, it might have been his first time or in a long time that he'd ever put a korowai on, and then I put him in front of the mirror, the full-length mirror, and the facial expressions that he showed and his mana that just all of a sudden came out was just beautiful to see. It's like, I can see how proud you are, mātua, like, you look amazing, you look so amazing. And he was so proud that I recall that he said when I was taking their photos, if you want me to go and get the next ones, I can go like this and go and get them. So he was so proud of it. They couldn't wait. And Auntie Sue, like the way that she is, she was like dancing around, like she just loved it. She went in there and said, right, who's next, and like showing off, and it was beautiful, absolutely beautiful, the way that that they were so proud of how they looked and how they felt, and it really shone in their images as well. So what a help being in the marae, that thing, the marae settings, that safe space for them, it helps, make them real comfortable. And they thought it was the whare nui had also just been painted and everything, so it's actually looking really lovely at the moment. So it was maybe not their first time that they've been in it since it's painted, but it was kind of like, oh, this is looking good. Like this is exciting. So it was really lovely. We had the whole room was kitted out with taonga and everything. So it was a really special day for them. They just loved it. That's good. So I knew really they would have been, because they looked so, in the photos they looked so content and everything, composed. So I thought, I wonder where the photos were taken. Definitely notice how relaxed and comfortable they were. It's good. And keen as well. Like Matua, Ben was probably one of my least enthusiastic person for it, because I think he was a bit nervous and whakamā, but he also was the first one to put his hand up and say, I want to go first. So that was like, whether it was trying to get it over and done with, but he was like, yay, I'm going to go first, and keen, and he was so proud of it actually afterwards. So I think he did really enjoy it deep down. It's just joking.
Maania, I just think you've captured the essence of all these. I know a lot of them, and when I came in the first time to look at them, I thought, I got quite emotional. It was like, she's captured the very essence of them. Like you can see it in them. It's just beautiful.
Thank you.
Real privilege. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much for your kind words. I have been very fortunate to get a lot of messages from people that have said it's brought tears to their eyes walking in, that they've seen people that they like, wow, I just can't believe that you've caught them like that. And sometimes I think it kind of blows my mind. I'm a little bit shocked. It's like, yes, I know that I wanted to capture them like that, but I'm like, I actually pulled that off, and it's like, wow, you know, I'm still quite a baby within this space. It's not, you know, I'm not. Well, I've got an exhibition, but it still feels quite new to me. Photography, I've been probably doing it for maybe, well, she's 10, so 10 years, but only as a hobby, and then my studio was opened in April 2022. So it's still a little baby, really, for me, and with no actual formal training as such. It's just sort of learn as I go and learn everything about my business, not just the camera and the settings of the camera and what compositions look good, but it's also learning about the mātauranga, the knowledge of te ao Māori. So I have to learn about what's correct to do. You know, like I've learned some things along the way of when tamariki have come in and wanted full face moko kauai, mataora, with the boys, and I've said, no, like full face is lovely, but it's only for the eldest person and the eldest boy in their whānau. And so it's my knowledge passing on to them too, because they might not have known that. And that's quite a things that I'm having to learn alongside the photography, and that makes it kind of all-encompassing in my whole life, really. We live and breathe te ao Māori, but and photography at the same time. Yeah.
A question from Lady Fee.
Maania, this is the most beautiful exhibition like I've ever been to. If you give me I knew Maania when we had our committee meetings to establish the bicultural Aoraki festival, and Maania was a little child, and Mihi, her mother, was on the committee. So I want to say, if this is your first exhibition, I want to think and pray that this will be the beginning of a wonderful career for you. And I also feel, as a Pākehā friend, that it is a real privilege to see the pride and the excellence of, well, you and your subjects. You have lifted the whole image in a wonderful way. You put blood in the veins, really, and to come on the opening night and see such a fantastic crowd of tamariki and oldies and everyone, and the singing and the kapahaka group. It was the most fun and enjoyable opening I've ever been to. The walls were practically singing, and so you have done something very, very special here with Izzy and Kara and all the helpers at Digantai. You've made it come alive, and you have made it a wonderful place for all of us. I think we Pākehā have had the scales taken off our eyes, and we've shown the friendship and the love that can exist between all of us. And I just want to say I'm so proud of you, and I know your mother and, well, your grandmother and your grandfather, Terry, would be so thrilled with what's happened today. Thank you.
I remember you very well.
Thank you. Oh, my tongue wetal might come out. Oh, it's very, very pleased to hear those words. Thank you. Thank you very much.
We're allowed to cry, you know.
Yeah, you're going to start me. Yes, no, it is a special taonga from, you know, I didn't get my toa like this, so at least I've got other people's beautiful kaumātua like this, so it is something so special. Yeah, beautiful.
before we all start crying, has anyone else got some more questions?
Kei te pai. Just another thing that I just wanted to add was a whakatauki that I live by with my tamariki, but also within my business, my photography and everything, is poipoia te kākano kia puawai. It's translated to nurture the seed and it will blossom. So this is the seed here that we've got here, and I can't wait to see what it blossoms into for me, for my future, for my tamariki too. So hopefully that this is an intergenerational thing that I can pass on to them, for their future. So yeah, ngā mihi nui.
And ngā mihi nui for coming along today and sharing about your kaupapa and whakapapa, and really what made all of this come together and so special. I couldn't have done it without you.
I couldn't have done it without you either. I just want to add just the support and the guidance that the gallery's staff, all of the staff, have tautoko'd me, awhi'd me, supported me and helped me to realise this dream that I had of like, wow, I want to capture these beautiful kaumātua, but how are we going to do it, and how are we going to fund it, and all those types of things that you have to do in the background when you own your business. You've got other things that you've got to take care of. It's such a big support having all of your staff here to tautoko, and I didn't get to frame these beautiful taonga on our walls here, but I actually really love them, that we haven't framed them, and that when the lights are down, when the way that Brent has done the lighting here is just beyond my imagination. I never knew that it was going to look like that. I just knew, okay, I got the photos here, got them here. That's what I was focusing about. Like, I'd done my part. Now the gallery's going to somehow do some magic, and they really did do some magic. When I came in on the week that they installed this, I just was blown away. The first day there was no lighting, it was very white in here and the walls looked humongous, and I thought, oh my god, how is this going to fill this whole space? But they said, don't worry, we'll make sure the lights are down and everything's going to be fine. And I was like, okay, trust the process, trust the people that know what they're doing, because I have no idea, you know, I'm very newbie at this kind of thing. And then they came in the next day, and I came by myself. Other days I'd brought whānau or friends and things with me, but on this day I came in by myself, and they had already had the lights down and everything installed with the magnets that they have there, and it just like blew me away to think, how is that looking like that? Like, is this a TV, or is this, like, what magic has happened that these just pop out at me in this way? So it's very clever, and I'm so thankful that you've helped to to make it look like this. Wow, perfect timing. Thank you.
Yeah, Brent did such an amazing job on the lighting, and it really was a team effort, but obviously couldn't have made it happen without photos on the walls. So we've got a little special gift for you on behalf of the gallery.
Thank you.
Lovely.
And thank you everyone for coming. We really enjoyed the kōrero. Yeah.
Thank you.
Didn't expect all this. I didn't know there was this going on. I did come to see the photography. It came up on Facebook. But just this, it's a Māori space, isn't it? It's become, because I've come to the gallery a lot, but this has become a Māori space. You can feel it. And you said about this little seed. It's not a seed, it's already like a mighty kōrero tree. So it just talk about being blown away. Just to come in on the off chance, but just for a quick look around, and to have all this happening, and to experience this, and to meet you in person. It's just really mighty. So yeah, I guess.
Thank you. Aroha nui. Kia ora.
Kia ora.